Alright, buckle up, because Ford just made a promise that sounds almost too good to be true. A brand new electric pickup truck, starting around $30,000, that lets you take your eyes completely off the road on the highway. Not just hands-free, actually eyes off.
Best part of these self-driving trucks?
That's a huge deal in an industry where most companies are still charging six figures for anything close to this. So, is this the real deal? Or just another flashy announcement that quietly fades away? Let's get into it. So in this video, we're breaking down exactly what Ford actually announced, what eyes-off driving really means compared to the hands-free tech you might already know, the wild performance numbers behind this truck, and how Ford plans to hit that $30,000 price point without cutting corners. We'll also get real about whether this timeline is actually realistic, given Ford's track record with electric trucks so far, and how this whole thing stacks up against what Tesla, GM, and Rivian are cooking up too. This channel covers future cars from American companies every week, so if that's your thing, go ahead and subscribe. Let's dig in. So here's the actual deal. This is a mid-size electric pickup, expected to launch in 2027, built on Ford's brand new universal EV platform, a flexible architecture designed to underpin a bunch of different vehicles down the road, not just this one truck. Ford's been pretty upfront that this isn't going to be some flashy halo vehicle for early adopters with deep pockets. It's aimed squarely at everyday buyers who want something practical and affordable, which is honestly a pretty different strategy than what we've seen from most companies chasing this kind of tech. Usually the fanciest self-driving features show up on the priciest trucks first, marketed to folks who can afford to be early adopters, and trickle down to everyone else later, sometimes years later. Ford's flipping that script entirely, and betting that starting cheap and mainstream is actually the smarter move. Okay, let's talk about what eyes-off actually means, because this is a genuinely bigger deal than it might sound at first. Most hands-free systems on the market right now still legally require you to keep your eyes on the road at all times, watching for the system to hand control back to you. Eyes-off is a whole different level. It means the system is confident enough in its own performance that you're allowed to look away entirely, at least under specific conditions, usually limited access highways and good weather. That's a massive jump in trust and liability, because now the car isn't just assisting you, it's genuinely taking over the responsibility of watching the road. Only a small handful of companies have gotten anywhere close to offering this legally, and Ford wants to bring it to a truck that costs a fraction of what those systems currently sell for. Now let's talk numbers, because honestly, these are pretty wild for a $30,000 truck. Ford's targeting sub 5-second 0 to 60 performance, which the company claims is actually quicker than its own twin-turbo Mustang. That's a legit sports car benchmark on a work truck price tag. The batteries are LFP prismatic cells, manufactured right here in Michigan, chosen specifically because they're cheaper and more durable than some alternative battery chemistries, even if they trade off a bit of energy density. And here's a genuinely killer feature. This truck is expected to support vehicle-to-home charging, capable of powering an entire house for up to 6 days during an outage. So beyond just being quick and affordable, it's also positioned as a legit backup generator on wheels. So how does Ford actually hit 30 grand with all this tech packed in? It comes down to a genuinely redesigned manufacturing process. Ford says this new platform uses 20% fewer parts than a typical vehicle, 25% fewer fasteners holding it all together, 40% fewer workstations on the actual assembly line, and around 15% faster overall assembly time. Basically, every one of those numbers translates directly into lower cost, because fewer parts means fewer things to buy, fewer robots and workers needed to install them, and faster production means more trucks rolling off the line per day. It's less about cutting quality corners and more about genuinely rethinking how the vehicle gets built from the ground up, which, if it actually works at scale, is a pretty big deal for the whole industry. And Ford isn't doing this in a vacuum. This puts them in direct competition with Tesla, General Motors, and Rivian, who are all racing toward the same eyes-off milestone right now. GM's already testing its own eyes-off system on limited access highways, aiming for a similar 2028 timeframe. Tesla's been pushing its own hands-free system aggressively for years, though it's still not legally eyes-off in most places. Rivian's chasing a similar future too, even partnering up to explore autonomous ride-hailing down the road. What actually sets Ford apart here isn't the technology itself, it's the price point. Everyone else is largely aiming this kind of tech at premium vehicles first. Ford's betting that putting it on a mainstream affordable truck first is the smarter long-term play. All right, real talk though. Can Ford actually pull this off on schedule? Worth remembering here that Ford's last electric truck, the F-150 Lightning, was discontinued after a few rocky years on the market, and the company has already canceled at least one planned electric truck project before it ever launched. Big, ambitious promises about future vehicles are honestly pretty common in this industry, and the track record of them showing up exactly on time, at exactly the promised price, with exactly the promised tech, is genuinely mixed across basically every manufacturer. That doesn't mean this specific truck won't happen. Ford's put real engineering details behind this one, not just a flashy concept render. But 2027 is still a couple years out, and a lot can change between now and then. So why should you actually care about any of this? Because if Ford genuinely pulls this off, it changes who gets access to this kind of tech in the first place. Right now, eyes-off driving and serious backup power capability are things reserved for people who can drop six figures on a vehicle. Bringing that down to a $30,000 truck means regular working folks, not just early adopters with money to burn, could actually get their hands on it. That's the real story here, more than any single spec sheet number. Whether or not Ford hits every single target exactly on time, the direction is pretty clear. This kind of tech is heading toward the mainstream a lot faster than most of us probably expected even a couple years ago. So, would you actually trust an eyes-off system in a $30,000 truck? Or does that price tag make you a little nervous about cutting corners somewhere? Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you're into future cars from American companies, go ahead and subscribe, because we're going to keep tracking this one as 2027 gets closer. See you in the next one.